Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome back to Marine Corps. It's been a bit of a while since my last video. Last weekend was rather busy, Saturday and Sunday, and Friday night seems like a bit of a blur now, and the weekend before was the same. I've basically got recently finished, which is quite a stack. I've got a library haul that's quite a stack, and I've got a book haul as well, a recent book haul, and also what I'm currently reading. So it's quite a lot, quite a big undertaking really. I think I'm going to start off with my library haul and my book haul, just because some of that is in currently reading. So that's what I'm doing for that. So we'll go through that now. So from the library, I think what I'll give it away is the bookmarks in them. But yeah, the recent ones I've recently got is Lords of Chaos. This is Michael Monaghan, I think, and Didrik Soderlind. So this is all about black metal. I'm not a black metal fan by any stretch of the imagination. I've always wanted to read it and saw they had it in my library, and I thought, well, I'll give it a read for that. But I'm enjoying it, but I'm finding it a bit monotonous now. It's more about the theology of it than the actual music, so it's getting a bit hard going. But yeah, I'll get into that more because that's what I'm reading, obviously with the bookmark. And then I've also got I Heard You Paint Houses by Charles Brandt. This sounds really good. I think it's been made into a film with Al Pacino in it, so that should be quite interesting. I love Al Pacino. He's my favourite actor, especially like Scent of a Woman. But yeah, so that looks quite interesting, one I need to get to. I've not got this, and I saw it in the library, so I thought I'd pick it up. This is Charles Bukowski's On Writing. I do like Charles Bukowski. It's a bit of it's about his right. I've not read this, but it looks quite interesting. It's only short as well, but I might start trying read that next month. And then one I've read before, What You Are Looking For in the Library it's just such a lovely, heartfelt book that I've wanted to reread, so I picked that up. It's basically about people who go into the library looking for certain books, end up getting books on the books they want, plus a book on something they didn't actually anticipate, and also some sort of like art thing as well they get given. And it's just quite interesting how the book that not looking for is the book that interests them the most. So that's that. Another big one now, I need to get this read because I've had this a few times now from the library. It's William Garris's The Recognitions. So it's one I've wanted to read for a while and one I've not got to. It's about 900 odd pages, so it's quite a thick one to get to. And then finally, another one I'm not reading, but I want to start soon because it's due back on the 24th of March, and that's Tome, or I'm not sure if that's pronounced right, but it's Junji Ito again. It's my third Junji Ito, I think. Uzumaki, Ali, and this, yeah. Third one. I really enjoy Junji Ito's work, so that's going to be read soon. So that's that. That's my library haul. I know I went through them quite quickly, but I have shown that a few times. I've read that one previously. That's about Bukowski on writing. Junji Ito's a bit of a horror manga artist, which he's a really good manga artist. And then finally, I Heard You Paint Houses, which is a bit of non-fiction. So quite a lot of interesting reads there. I think out of those, I've already got Lords of Chaos, and Tome's due back at the library as well. So I think out of those, it'd probably be either Charles Bukowski or I Heard You Paint Houses. It'd be my next ones out of that pile. So that's that. I'm going to go into my book haul next. So I got a couple of books off Rick Harsh. I asked for one that he showed on one of his videos, and he very kindly sent it me, but he also sent me a couple of other things. So the book he actually sent me was Glass House. I did start reading this, but I've not really had a chance to fully give it the time I want to give it, so I think I'm going to restart it. Once I'm currently reading this, but I feel like I need to give it a proper read, so I'm going to probably start that again once I finish a couple of books I've got on the go at the minute. And then, excuse me, and then he steps. Right, sorry about that. And then he also sent me The Periplus of Spurtank Road, which is by Rick Harsh. I don't know anything about these books, but these are from his new microline. Very kindly sent by Rick. So yeah, I'm going to read these as soon as I can, really. So that's The Periplus of Spurtank Road by Rick Harsh. He's also sent me The Lift by Dimitri Krell. I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name. That's only thin, so that's interesting. And then also a Chandler Brossard, Raging Joys, Sublime Violations, which is like the Beatles cover, from one of the earlier albums. I can't think which one it is now. But yeah, quite interesting. I want to read those as soon as I can, really. Because most of them are, I mean, apart from that Chandler Brossard, they are quite thin. Let me see. The Rick Harsh one is 95 pages. The Lift is 66. And then the Chandler Brossard, I think, is 190 pages. So them two are quite short, so probably could be read in an afternoon. The other one might need a bit longer. And then I have recently picked up a few Louis Armand, and I saw this on Amazon for about £3 and decided to pick it up. This is Monument by Louis Armand, and also a John Kinsella. So that's that. It looks quite interesting, really. It says Monuments is a tearing down of the museum of complacency, exposing foundations constructed from the tyranny of capital, obliterating the proprietary imprint. So that sounds quite interesting. So like I said, I've got a few Louis Armand, I've got that, I've got Canicule, and I've got Breakfast at Midnight as well. But that's going to be my first one I'm going to read. So that's those. And then finally off the book haul that I got delivered, so the ones Rick sent and a couple I've ordered myself. This is Nausea by Jean-Paul Sartre. So it's a book I've wanted to read for a while, and I've always loved this cover of it. So yeah, it says Nausea is the story of Antoine Raquentin, a French writer who is horrified at his own existence. In impressionistic diary form, he ruthlessly catalogues his every sensation. His thoughts culminate in a pervasive, overpowering feeling of nausea, which spreads at the bottom of the vicious puddle, at the bottom of our time, the time of purple suspenders and broken chair seats. It is made of wide, soft instants, spreading at the edge like an oil stain. The winner of the 1964 Nobel Prize in Literature, though he declined to accept it, Jean-Paul Sartre, philosopher, critic, novelist and dramatist, holds a position of singular eminence in the world of French letters. Among readers and critics familiar with the whole of Sartre's work, it is generally recognised that La Nausea, his first novel, is a landmark in existential fiction and a key work of the 20th century. So that sounds really interesting. So I've wanted to read that for a while and decided to pick it up, so that's that. So that's all I've I'll tell a lie, I've still got the bag here. So on Saturday I got my new glasses, saw my mate we decided to meet in a pub. We just had a cold each and a breakfast. We're friends from college, we've been friends like 20 years or something now. So we just hang out and do that. So then I had a couple of hours to kill after seeing him, so I decided to go and have a wander around Bury and get some just having those in the charity shops, and I ended up picking up quite a few books. Well, I got 5, which is more than I wanted to get, really. I just kind of wanted to pick something up. There's also a stall in the market I like. He usually has a couple of Richard Lehman books, which is a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine, but he didn't have any, and I didn't really fancy anything. And then, so I've picked up a couple of books. One I've read twice now and be looking to read it for a third time, and that's Stoner by John Williams. I read this twice last year and I was like, I really need a copy of it, and then I stumbled across this for £2, so I decided to pick it up. It's the edition, I think it's the edition I've read, so that's why I wanted to pick that up. Definitely plan on reading that soon. I've also got Butcher's Crossing from the library, but I'm tempted to buy a copy of that, because if I love that as much as I love this, then it's daft me not having a copy. And then I saw a Philip Roth book. I don't know anything about Philip Roth, but heard him talks about quite a lot. So this is The Plot Against America. I didn't really read the back, I just decided to get it. So sounds quite interesting. I don't know what it says. When the renowned aviation hero and rabid isolationist Charles A. Lindbergh defeats Franklin Roosevelt by a landslide in the 1940 presidential election, fear invades every Jewish household in America. Not only has Lindbergh publicly blamed the Jews for pushing America towards a pointless war with Nazi Germany, but upon taking office as the 33rd President of the United States of America, he negotiates a cordial understanding with Adolf Hitler, guaranteeing peaceful relations between the two nations. What then follows is the alternative America, this startling counterfactual novel by Philip Roth, who recounts what it was like for his Newark family during the menacingly anti-Semitic years of the Lindbergh presidency. Jewish families are shaken violently apart, whilst America is oblivious to its own dark metamorphosis. So that sounds quite interesting. It sounds more like a non-fiction, I think. Well, it says fiction on the back, though. Sounds quite interesting anyway, so we'll give that a read at some point. Probably read Stoner first, because I already had that from the library. And then the last 3 I got... so I've got the first 3 in the Kay Scarpetta novels, and this is the next 3. I just kind of like these editions, how dark the covers are. So that's The Body Farm, From Potter's Field, and Cruel and Unusual. I feel like I've got Cruel and Unusual, but maybe not in a paperback. I do need to I want to make a list of all the books I've got. So when if I do find that I have got a double of that, I'll take it to the charity shop. I don't keep doubles of books. But yeah, I do like them editions. I'm supposed to be reading one of hers this month. I'm not sure Post-Mortem, which is the first in the Kay Scarpetta novel. So I know I've got a few of them I can get on with if I enjoy that. Finally, I'm going to talk about the books I've recently read, and then the books I've not read yet, currently reading. So I'm not mentioning all the books I've got on the go, because these are going to be my main focus for the next few days, or tonight and tomorrow, and go on till Friday reads. So I've finished. I'm going to mention the book I don't have. I read Ali by Junji Ito, which was 10 short stories by the manga artist who did Tomei, who I showed earlier. Really good. I think I gave it 5 stars. I think there was only one story in it that was a bit iffy out of the 10, which I thought was quite good. So I enjoyed that. Looking forward to reading Tomei, but it looks quite a thick one, but because it's on reserve, that's why I picked Tomei. That's why I'm reading Lords of Chaos. I've also got Mouse by Art Spiegelman to read as well, which is also on reserve. But it's looking like I need to really get a move on with some reading this month. Ali I gave five stars to. Probably my favourite manga so far, along with Uzumaki. I think are probably my favourites. I do like Inio Asano, where I find his stuff quite depressing, whereas Junji Ito's is more like dark and horror, and yeah, kind of interesting. So yeah, so now I'm going to go on with the books I actually have in front of me now. What I finished recently, cause Ali I took back to the library. So I've got Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, one of my favourite books. It's a dystopian book about a guy called Guy Montag who burns books, and then he questions why he's burning the books. So good, definitely worth a read. I love 1984, but I think 1984 there's a lot more to it and a lot more references you can pull from it and a lot more you can get out of 1984. This, however, I feel it does. It's a not I won't say a better story, but it's a more concise look at dystopian fiction, and that's why I'd recommend this over 1984. But I think if you like dystopian, I'd recommend this and 1984. So that's Fahrenheit 451. Next up, I finished The Most Beautiful Woman in Town, by Charles Bukowski. Really enjoyed this collection. My favourite story is probably the one with the swastika, just because it's about like Hitler coming back and him changing himself to an American, and then like a bit like Face Off kind of thing. It's quite, I don't know, I find it quite interesting because it's about World War Two, and then there's also like Matt Wall's doing a podcast with Shailin on his channel, and he's just done the story of The Most Beautiful Woman in Town, so that's definitely worth a watch if you're interested in Bukowski. And then I read a comic. I read Sweet Tooth, Animal Armies. Really enjoyed this. Really enjoyed the series. Love Jeff Lemire. Jeff Lemire is my favourite comic book writer. Probably alongside like Frank Miller and Alan Moore. But yeah, Jeff Lemire is probably my favourite out of those three. But yeah, it's a really good story so far. Don't want to say too much about it because this is now the third one in the series. And then I finally just sat down and I couldn't put this down then. I finished John Cooper Clarke, I Want to Be Yours. Really enjoyed this. I don't know if I'd reread it again. I'm not sure. I'm a bit on the fence with reading non-fiction biographies about things. I mean, I feel like it's one I'd probably throw in the charity shop and see if I pick up again, but I'm tempted to keep because I did enjoy it, so I'm not sure. A bit on the fence about that. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I'd read it again. So, I did give it 4 stars, but I didn't. I'm not sure if I'd read it again. But yeah, it was interesting. I didn't know much about John Cooper Clarke, and I do now, so I did borrow it from the library, but then when I saw it for £1, I just decided to read it. And then finally, my final read that I finished was Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary. This was a buddy read with Wendy. This is such a good book. I really enjoyed this book, to be honest. It's probably one of my favourite reads, if not my favourite read this year so far. It's about a guy who wakes up on a ship. And it's quite good because you don't know the full ins and outs in this book of what's happened, but it kind of goes backwards and forwards, but it's not backwards and forwards in a convoluted way. It kind of, as the plot points come up, it kind of discusses it quite well and explains it quite well in the background of how he ended up in space and stuff, which you don't know till the end of the book, really, why he's in space and stuff like that, but it's such a good book. I don't want to say more about it, but yeah, it's basically about a guy trying to save Earth, really, and he's on his own in space. I mean, you find out he's on his own in space quite early on, but... Or, you don't know he's in space early on, but, well, early on you know he's in space and you know he's on his own. But yeah, such a good book. Definitely want to reread this. So good. And I mean, it's not... I don't feel like the writing's too thingy either. I think it's quite fast paced. It's got a good pacing to it. Yeah, I mean, I want to read The Martian next of his, and I've heard Artemis isn't great, but I wouldn't mind giving that a read as well, because I think he's only done 3, maybe 4, so it'd be worth just reading those. So that's that. I've got quite a stack there now, looking at that stack there of currently reading library books, book haul and thingy. and recently read. So I may as well go through the books I've mentioned first, and then the last book. So I'm reading Glass House. Like I said, I'm going to restart this again because I feel like I need to just fully focus, because I kind of kept dipping my toe in and out of it and wasn't really focused on it. So I feel like I need to give it a full proper read. So that's Glass House. So I'll probably read that. Not sure when, but I want to start that as soon as I can again. But I'm also currently reading, like I said before, Lords of Chaos. It's quite interesting knowing about death metal and stuff like that. But it is, I mean, it's 400 pages, and it is getting a bit like, really? We're going on about this again? So I'm hoping it does. Like I say, I don't think I'll read this again, is how I'm feeling right now. Maybe the earlier chapters were quite interesting, but I'm on chapter 7, so I might try and read another chapter later, or try and read as much as I can later and I can finish it. And then finally, oh sugar, that looked like it was going to fall. And then finally, I'm currently reading More Notes of a Dirty Old Man by Charles Bukowski. This is like his columns for, let me see, I want to say Open City, but I keep thinking City Lights as well, so let me see. Yeah, for City Lights, yeah. What was it? I think it was Open City. Let me see. Notes to do, man. It's like his uncollected columns anyway. I did see somewhere where it had a timeline. Yeah, Open City. So he wrote it for Open City, and also it looks like Los Angeles Free Press as well. A few different places, but mainly Open City. I'm on about 186 pages left. I think I've got like one more column left, which I'll probably read after this, and I think I've got an afterword, and then so I'll probably finish that tonight, and then carry on with Lords of Chaos, and then tomorrow really focus on Glass House. So yeah, that's what I'm up to anyway. Like I say, I've got those 3 on the go. I've also got Noam Chomsky, Clive Barker, Labyrinths on the go as well. Is that 4, 7? And I've got something else on the go as well, because I think I've got 7 books. And I've also got Coming Alone as well by Warren Ellis. But I won't show them now, because these are the books I have been mainly reading. I will try and pick Labyrinths up and Noam Chomsky and Clive Barker, but for now I want to focus on finishing these and Tommy, and also a Mouse, and also I need to carry on with I want to carry on with Thingy as well. I want to carry on with my so I've got The Girl Hunters and His Bloody Project I want to read as well for, and Neon Rain, Postmortem and The Crossing as well this month, and as well as loads of comic books. So I think it's going to be a stacked Friday reads. I'm having my son now Friday to Monday, because his mum keeps changing. Can you pick him up earlier than 10:30 in the morning, which I think is reasonable. If you can't make arrangement plans after 10:30 on a Saturday, it's a bit of a bad do. So yeah, I've got him Friday to Monday, so I'm hoping with that in mind, knowing him, he's got that extra time with me, we might be able to just, he might be able to watch something for a bit while I have a chill and a read, or we can get a book out together and read. But yeah, we'll see. I'll pick up on a Friday reads anyway. I've no plans to buy any more books unless I get Butcher's Crossing, just to, so I don't have to, rush to read that, because I feel like I've got a stack to read at the minute. I'm not sure what date we're on currently, so I think we're on the 19th, so still about 12 days left of this month left, so plenty of time to get some good reading done, I hope. But yeah, I'm going to go and finish Bukowski now. I've finished this video, and then I'll catch up on a Friday reads probably, and say I've finished Bukowski, hopefully Lords of Chaos, and hopefully Glass House, and started something new. Yeah, so that's that. Anyway, sorry it's been a while, guys. Yeah, last weekend was hectic, the weekend before that was hectic, and I've just not had a chance to film. I'm having to film earlier than I used to, so I usually film usually at night, like after 9 o'clock. But now I'm having to film about 6:30, 6:45, so that's the reason for that. So yeah, but I'll see you on Friday for Friday reads, because I'm going to try and get Friday reads out. I might struggle. I'll try and do Friday reads on Friday, but I'll definitely see you as soon as I can. Bye.